Hey, sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes jumping on tonight so that we can talk a little bit of Sunday's NFL action recap so that we can share some of our thoughts from those games that took place yesterday. A lot of really, really good games, a couple of surprises also in some of those games yesterday. And we know we're going to get into it, we're going to talk about it. And if you're watching, please put your questions or any of your statements in the chat so that we know that you're out there. Please hit the like button so that we know that you are watching. That's the way we take attendance by seeing who's giving us a thumbs up on the content that we're bringing out to those who, watch and follow us. So hopefully, you got some questions that you might want to ask or you have some statements that you want to make about the games that took place yesterday. It was a lot of really, really good football, and then there was some not so good football. But that happens every time that you have someone playing out there. What's going on, bro?
What up, bro? Just what I got? A couple minutes, just checking in, man.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. Yeah, just jumped on
Look, I
real
was
quick.
hoping I had some fast set for you up here. What you say, bro?
I was saying we just jumping on real quick to talk about NFL yesterday. So any chance you get to jump in and chime in on what we're saying, please do so because we would like to hear from you for sure.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, some good stuff over this weekend.
Yeah, some really, really good stuff over this weekend for sure, college and pro.
Your Tennessee team had a bye this week, huh?
Yeah, we had a
You
bye.
know,
So both of my teams had a bye, so that was probably good,
you
especially
said that
for
was good. It was a bad week. It was a bad week in the SEC, boy.
right, right. Yeah, real bad week for the SEC for sure.
Was you already talking about something before I came in?
No, I was just doing a little recap on what how good the games were this weekend, and I haven't really gotten into any of the games uh, per se yet. Just giving a little recap.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Don't finish
Marshall was
going with
doing
going with it.
good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
man, we
was
missed you
doing good.
yesterday, but I know you enjoy getting you an hour off of the podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure,
You've
for
been
sure.
working it, man.
You said what?
You've been working it.
Yeah, it was good.
I
It
said
was
you've
good
been working it,
success
man.
yesterday, man.
Yeah, that's what I said. I know you enjoy, just having a little bit of whatever time you had going on.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It was good. I enjoyed that, man. Just being able to be on the other end of it, and my little thoughts and suggestions in there. It was pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was, no doubt, no doubt. Hey, as exciting as them games was yesterday, nah, nah. Let me rewind. Browns got to let Watson go and move on, man. It's time to move on. I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm
time for them to
tired of
go for
getting,
sure.
and then after, watching, the few young quarterbacks that is out here getting it in. Nah, man, it's time to make some changes, make some moves. Gotta make a move because it just don't look good. It don't even look like football. I understand Nick Chubb is out, but come on, it still just it gotta look better than that. And I know it ain't all Watson's fault, but it just doesn't look good.
No, it don't look good at all. Especially
Who you
with
got
these.
today? Who you got for tonight's game?
I'm going. I mean, like y'all said, it's too hard to bet against the Chiefs, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that look, and ain't they in Kansas City too?
Yeah, so Kansas City too. And the Saints already came back down to earth, so yeah, I can see that
Yeah,
movie.
that ain't it. That ain't it. Let me get to this game, man. Hopefully it'll be a quick one.
Okay,
Hopefully
cool,
it'll be
cool.
a quick one, and while y'all still on, man, I'll catch you back in the outside.
All right, cool.
Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna just keep it on.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna wait on my man Level Up Sports 10 to get in, but before he gets in, I'm gonna share a couple of my thoughts on some of the things that I've seen, just in football in general. And I know they're gonna talk about this tomorrow on tomorrow's live stream. But at the end of the Alabama and Vanderbilt game, the cornerback, uh, Malachi Moore. I know he was upset, he was frustrated, he was angry at how things went in that game. But man, the way he showed out at the end, he threw his mouthpiece out of anger. Then he walks over to where the referees had put the football in play, and he goes and kicks the football. Man, now I used to coach Little League. Now I used to coach. Man, if one of my players would have did something like that, I don't care if they were my best player. They would have sat their butt on that sideline, and they probably wouldn't have been able to see the field, man, for a while. They would have had to write a letter of apology to those referees. I mean, it would have been all kinds of stuff they would have had to do in order to get back on that field with me, man. I just don't tolerate that kind of stuff. And when I was coaching, I always let my players know, listen, if I'm going to be made to look bad, it's going to be because of something I did. I'm not letting somebody else make me look bad, man. So if you're going to act like you ain't got no sense, you ain't going to be on no team that I'm coaching. Because oh, my bad. I think I clicked you out of there. My bad.
Nah,
I
you
just
good.
don't tolerate that kind of stuff. Mossberg, Level Up Sports 10. I'm talking about that situation that happened at the end of the Alabama and Vanderbilt game where their cornerback, Malachi Moore, was upset, angry, frustrated, whatever. He threw his mouthpiece first. And then when the referees put the ball in play, he went over and kicked the football, bro.
Yeah, I think.
I'm like, dude, you got to have serious scrotum, big old scrotum sack
Yeah,
to do something crazy like that, man.
yeah, definitely.
Listen, if Kalen DeBoer, he gonna have to suspend that kid for at least a game, man. Something. He has to get some kind of punishment. Otherwise, he could lose his whole entire locker room. And I know that the players are gonna be like, man, he got to do something to you, Malachi, because you can't do that kind of stuff, man. You make the university look bad.
Definitely. And
That's crazy, man. I was like, whoa.
he's a great player. I mean, you can't ask for nothing more than a player to do what he do on and off the field, but that goes to show, you know, I agree. You have to do something because, a lot of people's going to be definitely looking at that um, next week, throughout the rest of the college football season, and how some of these players are throwing some of these temper tantrums throughout the game. And I think that definitely deserves a suspension on the coach's behalf because you just can't have that. And the type of player he is, all-American aspect, you can't have that.
Because a lot of times, people like if a player is acting that way, then they feel like that's the way the coach is. You know what I'm saying? And we know that Kellen DeBoer isn't that way. That kid was just in his emotions, man, and he did what he did. He should punish himself, really. Be like, Coach, you know what? I'm not even gonna leave that up to you. I did something I had no business doing.
I totally
I'm
agree.
willing to sit out this next game or something, man. He need to take that relief off of his coach and go ahead and say, I'll sit out this next one, coach.
Definitely.
And let them know in your press conference that, I'm gonna be sitting out this game because I had no business doing that kind of stuff, man. That was nuts. I was like,
Horrible.
wow, dude, you make us
Horrible.
all look bad doing that kind of crazy mess, man.
We had a week in football. Again, man, my picks for the NFL this week, I was like, I was let down by quite a few teams this week, man. But the field goals seem to prevail in a big way this week. Definitely.
Man, I put all of this information in the daggone thread, man, on the chat thing earlier today, man. I get back on there and only one thing was saved on there, man. I was like, wow.
That's
I put all
crazy.
that work in, man, so this thing could be prepared.
Because I went in, it's crazy because I went into the studio and I was sitting there and I'm like, wow, am I the only? So I clicked back out and then I went into the other one. I was like, okay, I'm getting everything down
Yeah. It was
day
too
by
long.
day.
Yeah.
But I was
So we
looking
can
at,
get started in a second.
yeah, I know I was looking at that Kirk Cousins performance. Man, he's
Quarterback balled out this weekend, man. The young ones, Denver's quarterback, Bo Nix had a good game.
Yeah.
Jalen Daniels had a good game.
Balling.
Caleb Williams had a good game.
Yeah.
All them dudes was balling, man. And then you look at Deshaun Watson, who's been in the league for a while. He's stinking up the joint.
Stinking up the joint, man. They've been going crazy about him online about how he's been performing. I mean, it's crazy, you know, and to see that turnaround, how they've been in Houston so far this year, you know, and just seeing how their selling is going to be. They have a high selling. I really don't see many people, you know, giving Houston a challenge if they hitting on all cylinders like they have been. They're just a dangerous team.
All right, we can get rolling. So first up, we're going to go to that Thursday night game where we had the Buccaneers 30 at the Falcons 36. The Falcons won that game 36-30 over the Broncos. That was, man, listen, that game was really good. Really good.
That was it was definitely worth sitting up late and getting to watch in. I definitely watched every bit of it. And I mean, I just couldn't believe what Kirk Cousins was doing and what he did. And like I rewatched it, and he looked like he did when he drove down the field against Philly. I think with that offense and the staff that they got, they knew what they had and they knew what they wanted to get. I think that's part of that big reason of him getting paid that money, because it's really looking worth it week by week when they get these wins.
Man, I'm gonna apologize to Kirk Cousins once again. Listen, Kirk Cousins, I told them, man. I said, listen, you need to get some of that money back, bro. Now I'm changing my mind. You don't need to get none of that money back. Deshaun Watson, you need to get some of that money back, bro.
Yes,
you need
indeed.
to get some of that money back. But Kirk Cousins, man, listen, he is surprising me. But one thing about Atlanta that I'm not feeling though, and I'm gonna get in that in a minute. But Kirk Cousins is balling. He's getting the ball to his receivers, but he need to start hitting Bijan Robinson out the backfield some of the times. Sometimes he throws some balls trying to fit it into those wide receivers when all he got to do is check that thing down and get some yards. You know what I'm saying, to make it easier on him on that next down. And he hasn't been doing that. And they haven't been featuring Bijan enough for me. The running backs at all, really, I think.
I agree.
Since he started, you know, slinging that ball pretty good these last couple of games, it's like he forgot about his running backs. And if you feed your running backs, your outlets, you can open it up better for your wide receiver. So hopefully his coaches are getting in his ear and say, hey, man, every now and then, you know what I'm saying, instead of trying to fit that ball in there to that wide receiver, drop it down to your running back, man. You know, get a better play the next day. You know, that kind of thing, man.
Yeah, because I think that gives them they want to block more in that case. They would want to protect the quarterback in certain situations instead of maybe getting tumbled over by a linebacker, safety, or whatnot with them having the leverage. So I agree with you on that. I think Bijan Robinson is, I mean, considerably, and you can debate it, one of the best backs in the NFL, and definitely a top 5. You put the ball in his hands, you see what you get out of it. And he may not be getting 100 yards, but he was right there on 100 yards, and you just got to feed him. He reminds me of Chris Henry. The more you feed him, the better he's going to get throughout that game. And he's already had a body of work to where you have to get him the ball regardless, whether it's a check down or just simply giving him the ball to run.
Yeah, I agree with that too. He needs to get a couple of more touches. Next up, we got a game we were talking about yesterday when we were on the chat, man. When I was in the chat while y'all was live, man, and this game was kind of wild too. The Jets 17 versus the Vikings 23. The Vikings were favored by 2.5, and the over and under was 41.5. So they didn't reach that over,
Right.
but the Vikings did cover. What was your thoughts on that game?
It was like I was watching the game and I was, moving around before we got on with the stream, and I had noticed a couple calls with the refs was kind of iffy early in the game, and they went Minnesota's way, and I was like, man, the Jets need something on the offensive side. They're not feeding their running backs. I'm like, are they dependent on Aaron Rodgers to just be captain, save them? Because I just noticed they're not running the ball at all. And you have Breece Hall, and I forget the other running back's name. And I think that will open up things, for the passing game. And we know what they have in a receiver. I just think they need to have another addition with Garrett Wilson. And I definitely just think it's time for Aaron Rodgers to give it up. I think it's time for you to give it up. He's starting to look for calls that I don't think there's no use of him getting. And he's not the same player that we seen 3 years ago.
Yeah. We were talking about, man, it might be time for him to go ahead and hang it up when we were on the chat talking about him in the thread on when we was texting back and forth.
Yeah.
And, that he shows some signs that he still got some of it in him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it makes you wonder, is it the offensive play calls that's making him look bad at times? Or is it just his poor decision-making sometimes? And I'm like, whenever you got a running back like Breece Hall, you should be handing him the rock, and you also should be hitting him out the backfield because he's a proven running back. He can go, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Go. And it seems like Aaron Rodgers just might be a little bit step or two slower than what he was when he was at Green Bay. And maybe that injury to his Achilles last year got him performing that way, but I'm like, man, we looking for the old Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
but I think we got to accept the fact that he's an OG.
Yeah.
And not expect him to make them plays. But they should definitely be thinking about getting him another quarterback because he can't get him another season, man. They need to go ahead and I think he get a 2-year contract or was it more than 2 years?
I think it was two or more. It might have been. It was for sure 2, but it might have been more than 2.
Yeah, it could be. It could have been a 4-year thing.
Yeah.
But they need to definitely start looking at getting them a quarterback somewhere. Maybe they might want Deshaun Watson.
Maybe get him a new start. New York can stay on it, and then that Minnesota team is a great team. I don't think we can take them for granted. Look at them as they're just the Minnesota Vikings. Nah, they're coming in and they're playing football. And I'm gonna call Sam Darnold the little young journeyman. He's been on 4 teams, and I think when you think of the quarterbacks that he's been, behind with those teams, he's had quite, the amount of teaching within those quarterbacks and those teams to where he can come out and he can greatly produce, which we're seeing this year. And he's actually having an MVP-like season. we can't negate that. He knows how to find Jefferson, puts the ball right where it needs to be, very accurate, and he feeds his running backs when necessary. And who's open, he's going to get the ball to, and he don't force anything to Jefferson. He's getting it to him when he needs to now. So I think they're definitely a team to watch in the NFC and definitely a threat.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not that I'm surprised about the Vikings, because the Vikings had all the pieces that they needed previously before they lost Kirk Cousins. Mm-hmm. And then they just picked up Sam Darnold, who has played a lot of football, man. Yeah. He's played a lot of football, and he's seen a lot of different formations, defensive strategies, and schemes and stuff. So he's ready at this point. So yeah. I'm not surprised that he's balling out the way he's balling. But when you think about the weapons that he got, it's like, oh, well, what y'all expect? I mean, all he got to do is manage the game and get the ball to his playmakers. And that's what he's doing. That's why they've been so successful. And they play good defense. You know,
great
so I'm excited that he's doing what he's doing, because you hate to see guys come into the league, especially at the quarterback position, and they don't necessarily play as well in their first couple of years. You always root for them to finally get it figured out so that they can start, you know, making some things happen. And then Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are actually doing that right now. Yeah, and I'm proud of that young man for, you know, sticking with it and not, you know, going to do something else other than play professional football.
I agree.
Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers 10 at the Bears 34. The Bears was favored by 3.5, and the over and under was 42.5, and they got the over, and the Bears covered. What's your thoughts on that game?
All I can say is we did a little, you know, I've been having my things to say about Caleb Williams. 300 yards, couple of touchdowns, 20 for 29. I can't ask for nothing more of you, Caleb. You know, he's starting to know who he needs to get the ball to. Caleb Moore should be the name. And if he finds that connection on a consistency, you know, we got to look at Minnesota. They're 3-2 in a division where you just don't know. I mean, Chicago in a division where you just don't know certain things, as well as the NFC. The way the NFC is starting to shape out in ways. So I think you just have to look at teams that have these young quarterbacks that are slowly grasping the speed of the game, but getting knowledgeable, you know, within that playbook and the system and what they have on their team, the targets, the what's needed on downs and the little things. And you could tell they had a great practice this past week because it definitely showed on the field.
He has definitely progressed a lot. What their team has, really. Yeah. You know, and they're going to be dangerous because he got some dudes, man. He got some dudes. Yes. I'm like, what they did in the draft this year, man, you got to appreciate the Bears organization for finally saying, listen, we're going to make this thing happen, man. They got a quarterback. They got receivers. They got good backs. Now, I would like to see them play my boy Roschon Johnson a little bit more. Yeah. But, you know, I guess he'll get his time when his time comes. Man. But other than that, man, the Bears, I'm shocked. What are they, 3-2?
3-2.
3-2, yeah. You know, and they shouldn't have beat my Titans, but they did. And they man, listen, they playing some decent football. Now, definitely. I don't think they can win the division with Green Bay and Minnesota, but you know, or the Lions, they got all three of them. Man, they're in trouble.
I forgot that. Possible wild card at best, depending on how the debacle go throughout the season.
Yeah,
that's the week that it is.
Rough.
Tough, man.
Man. Ooh, okay, Chicago. I'm gonna hype you up, man. But you're in a division where you're gonna have to play some ball for real.
For real ball.
Yeah. Next up, we got them one dudes, man. We don't want to call them clowns, man, but listen, they are getting clowned.
Clowned week by week.
Right.
Jaden Daniels came out, clowned them once again. You know, he taking these Ohio teams to the neck, man. He did it to us. he turned around and he did it to the Browns. And I'm pulling up the stats. I think he had another, of course. I think this was the only game. That's what it was. The only game that I was looking at that he had subpar when it come to passing. His passing stats wasn't like the previous weeks. But if you look at the way the defense is starting to play in Washington, the defense is starting to step up. And they really just commanded everything in that game. They kept Deshaun Watson at bay. They threw different disguises at him. And he's just starting to spread the ball around a little more. Cleveland did some things to where I think, might have surprised him within the play calls. But overall, I just think that this Washington team is, again, like the Vikings. They're not that same build that they had with Darnold now coming in at the QB helm. But with this young talent that Washington have and the experience of some veterans, I think they're a team to watch, team to beat. And they can actually come out of this NFC. You just don't know. Definitely that NFC East division.
They really are making strides, man, and they're doing things right now that the way they're doing them and winning games, along with the fact that the Giants really aren't any good, and the Eagles is banged up, and the Cowboys are banged up. They can mess around and win that division. And I thought for sure they would be third in that division, but they got a chance to win it because they're winning games, and it ain't even close.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They starting to whoop teams.
You know what I'm saying? You beat somebody in the NFL by 10. That's like a blowout in college.
Yeah. And then you a rookie QB.
They beat you by 20.
20. And that's a rookie quarterback back there. And I don't know, Deshaun, you might be looking at what you should be right now this past Sunday because he's doing everything. And I'm like, man, he going against Deshaun Watson? I thought Deshaun would, you thinking he going to step up and do something in these type of games and be some kind of leader. But me personally, I heard him talking about it. Man, sit the brother on the wood, man. Gain some time to think about something because I be seeing him on social media having a good time. That's what you need to get to doing, man, in Cleveland because they need you on these Sundays, buddy.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I remember the Cleveland Browns back in the days when they had Brian Sight. And they had a good running game. They had a solid defense. Clay Matthews at the linebacker position.
Mm-hmm.
Their organization was pretty solid. But now, when I'm starting to look at it now, man, they had your boy Johnny Manziel.
Mm-hmm.
They had Baker Mayfield. Now these is guys they picked with high draft picks now.
High draft pick, yeah.
Then they get now they got Deshaun Watson. It might be an organizational problem, man.
Yeah.
It might be an organizational problem.
And I look at that same thing like I've been watching Jamar Chase these last couple of weeks. Like, is it something in Ohio's organizations with this pro football? Because y'all don't want to pay a man that's doing this week in, week out. Y'all got to think about it another year and the situation with them overpaying a player, and then this outcome. So definitely agree with you on that.
What the Bengals better hope is that he don't decide to say, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to free agency then. I'm gonna go ahead and play out these last 2 years on my contract, and I'm going to free agency. Man,
and I'm a big Bengals fan, and I've been watching Jamar Chase for some years, and I don't know. It's one of them. It's one of them points in my life to where I don't want to be a fan of a player and leave an organization because my heart is in Cincinnati. But if y'all don't pay this man, and that's the reason why, I just might be a fan of Cincinnati and be wherever Jamar Chase at. Because if they want to pay the man the money, I think it's a reason they paying him. They see what his worth is instead of holding back on that. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, they should definitely get that man that bread for sure. Next up, we got the Miami Dolphins 15 at the Patriots 10. the Dolphins was favored by 1, and the over and under was 36.5. They didn't even get close.
And we all went against Miami, and I said they was MIA, and they showed up. That's all I could say. They showed up. They played a heck of a defensive game, and the offense, the offense struggled, but of course you expect that. And the offense came up with a big possession and a score to put them ahead. And I think that was the difference in the game, along with their defense, just showing up and being a team, on both sides of the ball, knowing that they still lingering from the situation with Tua. And they said that they allowing him to play again. I had looked at that, and that was tough for me. Yeah, that was tough for me. They said they're going to go ahead. I mean, it's okay for him to play, and I was kind of like, I don't know. That's tough as an athlete, but, if he has to feed his family, I can't keep a man from doing what he got to do to feed his family. That's one thing.
Let me ask you this, man, in reference to him deciding deciding that he's gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a defensive end and you got a chance to crush him, do you not crush him because of his situation, man?
Man, I'm gonna just say this. I'm out there on the field. I might lose track. My head is in the game. I send a lot of prayers and stuff out, just thinking as I play for games within itself. But I'm going to lose track of that. As I'm on the field, my job is I get paid to go get you. So I'm coming to get you sacked. I might not hit you as hard, but I'm going to definitely come and try to get my money's worth and put you on the ground and earn them extra incentives. That's just it. Ain't nothing I could do about that. I mean, that's just a tough thing it's tough. But I'm definitely out there. I'm not going to headhunt. I'm going to wrap you up in tough and keep you from going anywhere, but definitely be notable of it.
Yeah, I would probably just tackle him too, man. I probably wouldn't crush him, because because you want it's like a fraternity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Even though you're going at it against them, when you're playing them, you coming with all you got, but at the same time, off the field, it's like a fraternity. We brothers, we friends. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And I don't want to crush you like that, but at the same time, it's like, dude, in my contract, bro, I got to get so many sacks in order to get this incentive, to get this extra bonus.
Right.
And if I got to, tackle you hard, I got to tackle you hard, man,
Exactly. That's it.
You go in there soft and he slip that way, and your coach going to be like, dude, you better make that tackle next time, or you come and sit over here on the sideline with me.
Yeah, every time.
So that's a tough one, man. And I hope that those players that are going to face him in the future when he plays again, I hope that,
they keep that in their head.
I hope they go easy on him, man. That's tough, though, man. That's tough. You come in full speed, your adrenaline is flowing, you're trying to make a play, you excited. You got a chance to get him, and you get to him and you tag him.
Yeah, you tag him.
It's crazy, man.
If he go down, I'm going to really respect the NFL at that point, because I think that would show that someone sees that he's trying to, but they understand, like, man, I can't do this, man. Yeah, I can only imagine somebody like a Patrick Queen or man, I can't even. I just think of Patrick Queen because he be hitting. I see him too many times throughout the year, man, and he's a hitter. It's gonna be tough because I can't see somebody like that just letting up so easy. But I can also see them forgetting that, and they're just in the mode of playing the game itself. So that's definitely gonna be tough. You're right.
Next up, we got the Indianapolis Colts 34 at the Jaguars 37. The Jaguars was favored by 2.5, and the over and under was 46. They smashed that over and under, and the Jaguars, they covered that 2.5. They won by 3. What's your thoughts on that game?
The Jaguars definitely needed a win. They got a tough one. It was quite a few games that was won by field goals, but I think we always talk about resilience. I think they show resilience not only in that game, but I think in the season. I think this is a team that everybody felt coming in was better than the record that they showing, which a lot of teams are. But I heard someone say, I think I was watching the morning show yesterday or today, and they spoke on how one of the greats had mentioned, you are what your record says. And I'm gonna leave it at that. But with this game, they show resilience in their season, and defense definitely stepped up. Quarterback showed me a great, and Trevor Lawrence showed me a great outing and how he can be as a quarterback, and not what we've seen in these first few games this year.
Yeah, I know when I was talking to Allende yesterday, who likes the Colts, he was like, man, if we lose to the Jaguars, man, after beating the Steelers, man, why do we even beat the Steelers? And you might as well lose to the Steelers too if we're gonna lose to the Jaguars.
Yeah.
But what they do, they gonna lose to the Jaguars. So I know he was salty. So I didn't talk to him no more after the game because I knew, he was probably in the crib sitting there like, man, I can't believe these dudes, man, lost this game. And now they're still in second place in the division, though. The Titans and the Jaguars are still in the basement. But at the same time, you're like, man, games like that, you gotta win. You can't let the Jaguars get their first win on you. They did us like that a couple years ago, and I was pissed. I was
It
like,
was tough. I remember that one.
Bums, man, how y'all gonna let them get their first win against us?
Because that's always tough. The first win you let a team get against you, you hate that.
I don't know what's really going on with the Colts, though, man. For one, they gave up too many points. You can't give up 37 points to the Jaguars, and you scored 34. So offensively, you're doing all right with old man Joe Flacco. Yeah. But at the same time, what's going on with your defense? And they're supposed to have a pretty solid defense this year.
Exactly. And they were speaking on their linebackers, and I was watching the highlights of the game coming up at the bottom, and I'm like, what's going on? What are the linebackers doing? Is this not the team that just played Pittsburgh tough as nails last week? Right. The offense stalled in the second half, but the defense was there, and I'm like, it's a total flip around this week. Like they got to figure out what their moxie is. It starts with their defense. That's the one thing I've noticed. Start with the defense, and their offense manages and gets them through everything.
Yeah, that's sort of how unpredictable the NFL is. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you say any given Sunday you can get beat, in the NFL, any given Sunday you can get beat. Now, Definitely. What happened with Alabama, I mean, that's probably 1 in a million how they beat Alabama. But in college football, whenever it's a powerhouse against somebody that they're supposed to slaughter, they usually slaughter them. But in the NFL, they don't go that way. You can get
and I'm looking at it because my picks is crazy. Like I say, this probably was the worst week of my picks, and I thought I did pretty good, And when I seen the Falcons beat the Buccaneers, I was like, I think this is about to be a tough week with the picks because just that game itself, and it just goes to show Atlanta is a tough place to play. And they're just a force. Certain teams I think are making movement at the right time in the season, and I think they're one of them.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, we got the Bills 20 at the Texans 23. The Bills was favored by 1, and they did not cover. And the over and under, though, was 46.5, and they didn't go over. It was under.
Didn't go over.
What's your thoughts on that game?
Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, man, hats off, man. Y'all balled out. They both balled out. Defenses balled out. For that game to have come down to the last second field goal, I think it just shows how much Houston has grown. I think, when you look at both at this game, I think we was looking at which team would challenge Cincinnati or Kansas City. It's not about who's going to challenge Cincinnati. I don't see us as a challenge anymore. Offense sell tickets, defense win championships. We have no defense. So with this Houston team, they play defense to get that ball back for their team to drive down, kick that field goal to win the game. I think you need wins like that to not only see where you are as a team and as a unit, but as an organization. That was a big win for them. At home, in front of their home crowd, uniforms, probably the coldest uniforms I've seen in the NFL. And he's found this guy, Nico Collins. Can't say much more about that connection. And they made a couple big connections in that game, which led to them getting that field goal. And CJ Stroud is right now, I think Mahomes is Mahomes, but I like CJ Stroud, man. I just love everything about his poise, and even down to the point of what he did with his offensive lineman on the sideline, wiping him with the towel, getting him a clean clean jersey because his jersey was soaked, and it made a difference in the game. Just going to show the leadership with him. So I think that organization is doing a great job. Nothing against Buffalo. They're doing a great job as well, and I think there will be a team to reckon with, as the season continues, because they were right there. Allen brought them back. You can't ask for nothing more with a young core of receivers that he has there, and that running back as well, who's doing a great job in Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Patrick Mahomes in talking about C.J. Stroud, because anytime you got a quarterback in your team, you want to know that your quarterback can get the ball on the last drive of the game, man, and take you down and get points to win the game.
Yeah, definitely.
And we see Patrick Mahomes doing all the time. Now we're seeing a second-year player. Well, C.J. Stroud did it last year too.
Yeah.
In games like this, now the Buffalo Bills are not no slouches, bro.
Right.
They're probably one of the 4 best teams in the AFC.
The AFC, yeah.
And for him to be able to go down there against a team like the Bills and do what he did and get their team to win, man, that lets you know they got them a quarterback, bro, for the next probably 15 years, man.
Agreed.
As long as he don't suffer any serious injuries. They got the number one position that you want to have a good guy at.
They got
that field for the next 15 years, man. 12 to 15 years.
Definitely.
Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens 41 against Cincinnati Bengals 38. The Ravens was favored by 3. The over and under was 49. They smashed the over. Man, what's your thoughts on that game? I didn't really get to see much of that game, but I ran into a guy when I was in the store, had on his Bengals gear. I said, "Hey, man, what happened in that game?" And he said, "Oh, I don't know. Let me run it." And he went to his car. And when he came back in the store, I had already found out because I looked on my phone and found out that they missed a field goal at the end. Yeah. And the Ravens ended up beating them. But what's your thoughts on that game?
Man, the one thing I know is if we don't find somebody to get that ball when it come to our snapper and all, that tore the game up. That just seeing a replay and seeing how he fumbled and bobbled the snap, that's a kick that McPherson was waiting on, against a Baltimore team at home to put us in position to where I think at that point we would have been up 10 or no, that would have won the game for us. And for that situation to happen, our offense is playing phenomenal. Offense has hit another gear. Zach Moss, Chase Brown. I'm starting to forget about Joe. And I say that in a good way because a lot of people didn't think we would have a running game with Joe Mixon leaving. They didn't know what was coming. I knew what Zach Moss was. I knew what Chase Brown was. I watched them in college. Talking about 2 All-American running backs. That's what we're talking about. And I just feel like our defense is terrible right now. I think when your offense go out and put up numbers the way they do, and you can't hold your team, you can't hold that offense to anything, a field goal, turnovers, big keys in the game, I feel, that our defense should be doing things with this Baltimore team, and they wasn't. I'm just not happy with the defense this year. I just think it need to be, looked at in a lot of ways, especially the secondary, minus a few. I like some things, but don't get me wrong, as a whole, our defense is not it in any way.
Yeah, most of the times when you see a team not really performing well defensively, it's usually because their defense, they don't have the defensive tackles. The ones who can take on double teams and keep the linebackers clean, or who can just stuff the run. No, you ain't getting no middle runs on a good two good defensive tackles.
Yeah.
And I think with the Bengals having both of their starting tackles, I think, are still hurt. I think, or at least one of them is.
Both of them still hurt. We got rid of Ogunjobi. He's over in Pittsburgh, commanding the double team every week, as you see. And I think we miss him dearly. Nothing against what we have, but I know what he brought to the table. He's going to give you that, and then especially on third downs, where I see we're having a lot of trouble at third downs. Getting off that ball, and Ogunjobi, he knew he could read. He knew the plays. The IQ was high, and I think that's something that I watch in a lot of players. Just knowing what you're playing against. And there's an advantage in that. If you study that book, you study the team, you'll stand out, in a lot of ways. And we didn't have Hilton there yesterday, which I feel was a big loss, not having him in a game against the Ravens. He reads things so well on the defensive side of the ball. And, Trey Hendricks and Hubbard, they're playing great. Nothing against them. Even I seen Von Bell was playing great in the secondary, but I seen some things that he missed in his reads as well. And I just feel like as a whole that we can play much better defensively than what we've shown.
Yeah, I agree. I actually thought they were going to win that game. I thought once I seen that the Bengals were leading, I figured the Bengals were going to win that game. And then, like I said, when I seen the guy at the store, I asked him, did they win? And he was like, I don't know. Then he went back to his car, and then he was like, when I seen him in the store, I was like, I already checked, man. I missed that field goal. It's like,
it's tough. Tougher than a Washington loss.
What it do?
What's going on? Talking that Baltimore Raven loss. What's your thoughts on our Houdays team?
I know I've been listening. I've been listening. I'm so disappointed with that holder, man. And sometimes you just watch. Sometimes at our age right now, you just watch some of these games, and you just have to ask yourself, like, all right, is this game fixed? And a lot of times, I find myself answering that question, and the answer is yes. The answer is yes. They already have all of this stuff planned out, how they want it to go, what's going to make Vegas the money, because Vegas didn't pay out nothing this past weekend. You hear me? Vegas made a killing. All the bookies made a killing. Nobody hit a parlay last week. It got to be probably the first time, and it ain't nobody hit no parlays yesterday. Or Saturday. They might have hit it yesterday.
That's for sure.
What do you think about our defensive side of the ball?
Not bad. We were supposed to win that game. There was no doubt in my mind that we were the better team out there. So,
yeah,
we lost that game. We lost that game.
Let me ask y'all this, man. Because the Bengals should have beat the Chiefs and they should have beat the Ravens. What do you think their confidence level would have been like if they won both of them games, man?
They'd be thinking Super Bowl. You wouldn't be able to tell me nothing.
Right, hold on, y'all. I'm having some microphone technical.
You wouldn't be able to tell me nothing. I'm walking around with my Bengals hoodie on in 85-degree weather because we beat both of them teams. And to lose those games and to have outplayed both teams and the field goals to be the cause of the loss, that's tough. And to be sitting at what that put us at 1-5, 1-4. We a wild card team. We are a wild card team, and we better hope that it's not a three-way divisional race with Baltimore and Pittsburgh trying to get them spots, because we might not get the luck. And that'll be tough to miss the playoffs with Joe Burrow starting the season.
Yeah.
It'll be some.
I think we still. It's still early, but we got to get to going now, and we really don't have a lot of. We don't have no easy games. Nothing's easy.
Nothing easy. No room
Nothing's
for
easy,
error.
but we don't have time to lose anything.
Yeah.
Have y'all played any divisional games? No, that was your first divisional game. Was the Ravens?
First division game.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we can salvage our season.
Yeah, we could salvage it.
It's not like we can't salvage our season and it's just over.
Yeah.
We just, I mean, we have 2 games against 2 of the top teams in the NFL that we let those games get away. And like I say, man, I see a lot of stuff in a lot of these games. It looks scripted to me. Ain't no getting around.
I agree.
Yeah, your volume went down. We didn't hear that last piece. All right, so next up, we got the Las Vegas Raiders 18 at the Denver Broncos 32. The Broncos was favored by 2.5, and they covered, and the over was 37. So they wasn't expecting a lot of points to be scored in this game, and the Broncos scored 34 out of 37. What's your thoughts on that game?
All I could say is Bo Nix. Bo Nix. The Raiders went through a quarterback change in this game early in the game, but I think Denver now 3-2. Bo Nix, young quarterback. We seem to keep talking about the young quarterbacks, and I'm looking at his stats. He was 19 to 27, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's all you could ask for. And then they ran the ball 28 times for 109. So they're attacking you with the run to give you that opportunity to pass, and Denver's defense stepped up big as well. So I think, with that win, that was a big win for Denver, of course. And that's the rivalry, as always. But for that organization moving forward, I think that's a great win.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned Bo Nix.
I'll turn my light out because I don't hear.
Well, once you get pulled over, Andre Craig.
Nah, I ain't. That's what I'm saying. I had to pull my phone down because I ain't getting no. It won't even come out my speakerphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it won't come out my speakerphone, so I'm gonna turn my camera off and just. I'm listen.
Okay, cool.
And I can talk. I'm gonna just turn my camera off, so y'all see my stuff going all over the place.
Cool. Yeah, Bo Nix, man. And I think Bo Nix, Williams, and Daniels, they're really showing that the fact that that the thing the Pro Football Focus says if a college quarterback has had 25 starts, they are better prepared for the NFL. And those 3 players have played more than 25 starts in the college game. And they're showing that, man, that there's probably some truth to that. Bo Nix is playing some really, really good football. And I thought the Broncos was going to be some bums. Now, I knew the Raiders was going to be some bums, too. So it ain't like they beat somebody good.
Right.
Still,
Hey, quick question, y'all.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quick question with the QB. So, y'all rank them 3 QBs. How you ranking them 3 QBs right now? Let's just go with. I think that's all we really have as a rookie. So that's really out here getting time. So rank those QBs for me right now.
I'm going Jaden.
The draft is today, and we get to draft them on how they have been playing thus far in this early part of the season.
Jaden going number 1 regardless.
Oh yeah, I got Jaden 1. I got Bo Nix 2, and then Williams 3. Only because I think Williams has more weapons than Bo Nix, and Bo Nix is doing more with less.
With less weapons, yeah.
I agree with that 3. That would be my 3 too. I was just trying to see if we was all on the same page.
It's crazy because we are. Because I was thinking that too, exactly with what you said. Because once again, you think about the starts Bo Nix has had. He had more than all of them. And with those less weapons, that goes to show, okay, you know how to play with players that's hurt or not having these star power players, but you still know how to move your feet and get, manage to do what we want you to do in this system here in Denver. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely. What's your thoughts on the Cardinals 24 at the 49ers 23? The 49ers was favored by 7.5, and they did not cover. They got beat outright. And the over and under, though, was 49.5, and they didn't go over. What's your thoughts on that one? What's up with the 49ers? I know they got injuries, man, but come on.
The Cardinals didn't even use Harrison.
What?
Yeah, he didn't do nothing yesterday.
Wow.
He ain't do much at all.
I don't have my computer in front of me, but he on my fantasy team, and I know he ain't give me nada.
He caught
he got me about 8 points.
Yeah, caught a kilo ball, but Kyler Murray is just, they're talking about him again. He's moving around with them feet, that little body. But I wonder how long this is going to last this year. We've seen this before from Arizona, where they start off hot and then they get cold. That oven, they about that oven, and they done got put in the freezer real fast. So,
yeah,
nothing against Arizona. I love what I'm seeing out of them and what they're doing. They beat the San Francisco team. You're right. They're banged up. But we needed to see some kind of movement out of Murray to feel that, Arizona don't need to go to the draft board in the next couple of years, or he's too short, or who's the backup. He's starting to feed his running back and trust in the system a little more than what he has been, it seems, lately. And it's equaling wins, even tough ones.
Yeah.
Man, this is something that I ain't quite understanding about the NFL game right now. In certain organizations, not every organization. But if I'm gonna draft that wide receiver number 1, not now in the first round, not number 1, in the first round. Now I'm quite sure it's the same owners that was there when Larry Fitzgerald got drafted by them.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald got.
Yeah, I don't think they made any different changes as far as ownership wise.
Same ones.
This guy should be getting the ball thrown to him at least 8 times a game with a possibility of getting 6 to 7 receptions a game, bro.
Man, at least 10 times.
At least 10, really.
8 times is only 2 times a quarter. If you only throw to him 2 times a quarter, you ain't trying to win.
Right.
Yeah.
I got it going to him at least 3 times a quarter.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I just don't understand it, man. I just don't understand.
I don't either. Throw it up to him. Throw it up. See what he got. They drafted him high for a reason.
Right. Yeah. You got that Maserati out
Trust
there.
yourself. He's not trusting himself with it. That's why he not trusting himself with it. I don't know if they have to scare him into throwing the ball to Marv or what, but for him to be so inconsistent with this wide receiver who we know has got to be one of the most talented wide receivers in all the NFL, how are you not getting him the ball?
Yeah, and the crazy
how are you not calling plays just for him to, this is Marv's play, throw the ball.
Throw the ball. And
regardless of whatever.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm not watching the game enough to know if maybe they did do it. Maybe. Do we know how many targets he had yesterday?
Let me check it real quick because I'm on my computer to where I can't check. I'm pulling my phone out now. And I noticed that he's in single coverage at different times.
Yeah.
He don't even audible out of anything, to give him that. And I noticed
They know he ain't getting the ball.
yeah, they 19 to 30, 195 for Murray, 2 catches, 36 yards, 7 targets.
2 catches, 7 targets out of a 4-quarter game. He got 7 targets, so that means he got less than 2 targets a quarter.
Less than.
And that's what, hey, Rob, ain't that what you said? You said 8 a game, so hey, they consistent with that.
Man.
Yeah, but I'm
And
thinking
that ain't get him nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm talking 6 or 7 catches, not 2.
Right.
Man, no, just the targets. They only target him 7 times. So that's less than 2 times a quarter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's horrible. So you paying him to be a decoy.
Pretty much. That's basically what you pay him to do. Maserati Mar moving like a Ford
It's a
Focus.
decoy. Decoy. He ain't even got an engine inside of it. He just rolling on the long out there.
He just rolling. He in neutral.
Yeah, that's it.
Quarterback too. I mean, Kyler Murray's been in the league what 6, 7 years?
Somewhere around there. Way long enough to where their honeymoon stage should be over. They should be trying to figure out, okay, where can we actually go with this 5'10", 5'8" quarterback?
Right. They better off putting him on a trade block. Honestly.
Man. Hey, it's time for some musical chairs, but look, Cleveland got the worst quarterback to play with. Ain't nobody want to take on that money.
Man.
It's about to be over for him. He about to basically get kicked out the NFL.
Winston and throw at the Maserati Mar.
Man, I don't know why they haven't went to him yet to just give him a try, see what he got. He ain't been banged up for the past 3 years. He might go out there and find something.
Mm-hmm.
Jameis Winston is their backup.
Cleveland's backup sitting on the bench. They said they not looking at no backup, as the coach said. He said we not looking at no second.
No, we got everything. I mean, you throw Winston in. That's the best you can. That's the best you got. Go for it. What can you? At this point, what you gonna lose?
Salvage your season like you did with.
See if you can find a spark somewhere.
Right. Definitely.
Because Watson ain't sparking, man.
Yeah, he's not it. Definitely.
It's a lot of. Why are we talking about it? There's quite a few QBs out here not sparking. I'm not. I think Rodgers is good. I think Rodgers is. He might have topped out.
Yeah, he's topped out, bro. He's topped out.
Yeah, I think he topped out, and
the keg is empty.
That ain't it. That ain't it. If I'm part of ownership, that's not it.
Nope.
What how Hans Howard say, man, he ain't Tom Brady.
Nah.
He ain't Tom Brady.
He wasn't a threat. Yeah. Yeah.
His old ass is done.
But even when Tom Brady was out here, they was acting like Aaron Rodgers was the cream of the crop. Even with Brady out here, they was Aaron Rodgers. But he only has 1 Super Bowl with the team that Brett Favre had the year prior to that. So I really don't even respect that Super Bowl for him. I feel like they stole that Super Bowl from Brett Favre. Like he was gonna get that anyway.
Yeah, he one of my guys, but I can't watch him go out like this, man. Like it's like you just go ahead and give it up. Hey, Rod, I'm a fan. Brady's the GOAT, but you gotta let it go before they forget about you, man. And I'm gonna be all the way honest with
you. Yeah. What y'all think about that Giants 29 at the Seahawks 20? The Seahawks was favored by 6, and the over and under was 42. They got the over, but the Seahawks, man, what's up with the Seahawks? They should have beat the Giants, right?
I was watching that game earlier.
I think we all might have picked them.
I picked the Seahawks for sure. I thought they was gonna come out and have a nice game. You at home with the 12th man. It just goes to show that New York is going to be that team that we see this year when they got to play week in, week out. That's going to play. We've been questioning Josh Allen. He seemed to have found some kind of connection with Neighbors, the young rookie.
Daniel Jones.
I'm sorry, Daniel Jones. And it's a connection I've been watching, and I don't know if they're getting it down more, but I noticed that they're going out and they're playing football now. The last couple of weeks, the Giants is just going out playing football. They definitely have a nice front, on edges, that could get the job done as well. So, another young team, but they come out. I think this is another win in a row, 2 weeks in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Do we got an update on the score with this Monday night game? Anybody know?
Let me see.
Checking it right now.
They win a 7.
For the viewers that might be on the road and away from the TV.
Yeah, the Chiefs win at 7-0. They got the ball right now too.
What's the quarter?
It's still in the first quarter. It's about to go in the second quarter though.
Oh, okay. I'm getting home at a pretty good time.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt went in that end zone.
Yes, they got 1st and 10 on the New Orleans 36. That's according to not my TV. This is according to my phone.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the end of
Hey, y'all, guess what though?
What's
We
that?
actually coming up on the best time of all of the years.
Oh yeah.
All of the year. We about to get a little taste of that basketball mixed in with that football. Our mouth's gonna be tired.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna be tired. We're gonna be tired of talking.
What's gonna
There's
happen?
been a lot to talk about.
We're gonna be going on 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Now that y'all know how this whole thing works, I'll be taking me some days off.
Yeah, no doubt. We got look. You set it up in motion to be like, hey, and because I think I'm gonna set a goal for myself and to start my Ask Somebody Else podcast within the next couple of weeks. So after I get back from visiting my daughter next weekend. Oh no, then I got homecoming in Arkansas. So yeah, probably after that. Probably I'm gonna make it the beginning of next month.
Cool.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
So I'll start doing that once a week.
Cool. All right, well, let's look at this next one. We got the Packers 24 at the Rams 19. The Packers was favored by 3.5, and they covered. The over and under was 48. They didn't quite get to that, but that was a pretty decent game yesterday.
Great
game. It was a good game. That's what we want.
That.
They gave us what we want.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
I was making chili, eating chili. I ate about 2-3 bowls of chili watching this.
That sounds good.
But yeah, them Packers, man. The Packers back, man. Jordan Love, and we talk about that, having a quarterback, man. Once again, we're talking about a young quarterback. They're showing up, and to see Jordan Love having the success that he's having, hats off to you, Jay Love. I appreciate you. I felt you was a draft pick for Green Bay when they was overlooking you in the draft. Glad you found the home. And to see him playing football the way playing football, his command at the line, I watched that a lot yesterday. He was making audibles with 16 seconds on the clock. That gives your offense enough time to know what's going on in case you make another adjustment. They have a run game. Their defense is playing great. So I think as the season continues, Green Bay is only going to get better, stronger, tougher. Nothing against the Rams because they put on a performance as well. If the Rams were not hurt, I think the Rams would only be a one-loss team right now.
It's possible. Yeah, that was definitely a good game though.
Yeah, definitely a great game for sure.
Banger. That was a good banger. That's how you like a good game with. I mean, it wasn't all the way low scoring, but it was just enough fireworks to keep you excited about the outcome of it.
Definitely so, for sure.
The Packers got a pretty nice organization. I think.
Yeah, they do.
Their organization might be like fan owned or something like that.
Man, that's crazy.
You know, their fans
They run it the right way. I mean, they haven't won much or nothing, but I mean, they definitely run that organization the right way.
Yeah, for sure. You know, to let Brett Favre get away for Aaron Rodgers and then to let Aaron Rodgers get away for Jordan Love, let you know that they know something about some daggone quarterbacks. That's for sure.
No, they definitely do.
And to allow him to sit for a couple years behind Rodgers and then go ahead and have enough confidence in him that we can let you go now.
That's the
Aaron.
right way to do it. That's the right way to do it instead of forcing them to play.
Yeah, I agree with that 1,000%. Yeah, I thought the Rams was going to win that game, though. They got that last drive. I was like, oh, the Rams about to drive down here and win this game. Nope. Didn't happen.
They defense was the thing I noticed of how Green Bay secondary, McKinney, he's active. You know, I think that's 5 straight games with a pick or turnover in their defense. And that's big. You know, it seemed like they have a knack for it. They want to turn that ball over. They want you to make those mistakes. And they actually single cover. You don't see that a lot. And, you know, that's something that's throughout the season, but they feel very confident in their DBs, and we see why. So I just think they definitely be a team to watch in the NFC this year for sure.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on this last one? The Cowboys 20 at the Steelers 17. The Steelers was favored by 2.5, and the over and under was 42. The Steelers didn't cover, and they didn't go over. What's your thoughts on that?
I just want to say, good win on the end of the Cowboys. Parlay Po, I feel bad for y'all. And the reason I say that, they just got to find some offense for my man because he giving it his all. He out there running for y'all, getting touchdowns, throwing his body on the line, getting knocked on his keister, concussion protocol they didn't put him in. Pittsburgh's defense is great. We know how good they can be. If that offense can get halfway as that defense, I think they'll definitely be a different team. It's just that we can't – they don't have no offensive identity right now. And it's tough because they have, great defense, great team itself. They just need a few more pieces, and I think that'll make Justin Fields hit another stride. So
I agree with that. I was as a former Steelers fan, beyond. I was watching that game as if I was still a Steelers fan. Like I wanted the Steelers to win that game.
I was a Bengals fan.
And I was upset watching. I was upset when they let Dak go down there and get that scoring drive. Upset.
No blitz, no nothing. They look. I was totally surprised in that. And like you said, like you felt like a Steelers fan. I'm a Bengals fan, and I was watching every bit of this game, cheering for the Steelers, hoping that offense did something. Because I've been watching Justin Fields since high school, and the thing I like is that I'm seeing him in some of those happy high school times, but it's just that offense is just not where it needs to be to excel. So once that offense come in the form, they need to go get a Devontae Adams. Why not put all the marbles on the table? Go get him. He'll demand a double team. Pick it. He'll be able to pick fences all night, and all through the afternoon. But I just think until they offense catch up, that's just going to be the burden for Pittsburgh this year, is just that offense not being quite where it need to be.
I was just interested to see who was going to have what to say out of all the homies that are Steelers fans and all the homies that are Cowboy fans, man. I just wanted to see how that back and forth was going to go, and who was going to be crickets the next day after their team lost. So I was only in it for that.
I was on the internet checking it today. I see Zyron was on there. I ain't see Poe on there today. So
Howard and Kevin Bird. I mean, Alvin Bird was the only Steelers fans that I seen that was that was on Facebook today, still saying what they, wanted to say. But it was
Man.
heck of Cowboy fans going in all day.
Yeah, it was. I don't be on there too long. I get on there, see the morning from Mr. Claiborne, see what we talk about, a couple other things, man. That's it, man. But I definitely seen a couple, man.
Well, before we wrap up, man, I got one more question for you. Go ahead, T-Mon.
Oh no, I was just about to give Moss B a big ass good looking on the little shout out.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, good looking on the little shout out.
So think about this for a minute. This one of my co-workers. She's always watching. She watches our podcast, and she watches the late NFL games. Like when she gets off work, she's going to be watching
That's a
this
good question.
Saints and Chiefs game. And so she's like, "You should ask this question on your podcast." So I said, "I'm gonna ask it today." She said, "What brother or family combination are the top of your list as great players, current or past? Like you got the Bosa, you got the Matthews brothers, Bruce and Clay. Back in the days, you got a ton of different. What's the other two dudes? The Watts brothers.
The wise
I think you can't forget about the Mannings.
Yeah, you got the Mannings.
You can't forget about the Mannings, and they got Super Bowls, so
Man.
it's hard to get past the Mannings.
That's like a great. That's a great question.
You got the Rondé and Tiki Barber.
Yeah.
All day.
Barber brothers. You got the Manning brothers. You got the Bosa boys. Man, she make me. You said the Matthew brothers back in the day, like. Oh.
Yeah, I think Bruce Matthews played for the Titans for about 17 years, and Clay Matthews played for the Browns for like 15.
Yeah, did. Yeah. Hold on. And did they have one that played for the Packers too?
You know what? They did have three brothers.
I think so.
They did have three brothers.
I don't know. Because that Matthews with Green Bay, he got a Super Bowl when we was just talking about him, Aaron Rodgers, and he was a dog that year. Like, the Matthews is a good one.
You talking about that linebacker?
Yeah.
He's one of their sons.
Wow.
He's not their brother. He's one of their sons. Yeah. Yeah, I remember him. He was good too.
Jeez, you got.
Matter of fact, he might have been Clay's son.
Clay's son. You're right, man. You got it got me ready to write these down. You got, because I'm thinking about the McCaffreys now. And you had the Barbers. You had, man, that's a great question.
There was some more back in the days, though, more so than just the Matthews and had to be some other ones, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna just Google it because that's a great question.
But I mean, I think we all probably agree that the Mannings is probably, since they got Super Bowls, will probably be at the top of that list.
Yeah. Think then you got I just seen this, the Williams boys from the Jets and the
oh yeah, the Kelsey brothers too.
Kelsey brothers, Bruce and Clay Matthews, the McCourty brothers, Trayvon and Stephon. The Pouncey boys was even nice.
Yeah, the Sharps.
Sharps. Yeah, like, geez, that's a great.
That's a lot.
And they don't even have to be in any order. Wow, you got me. Dang, jeez. I would say of my time that I was able to see, because I've watched quite a bit of football. In my time, I would say in a prime, and when you think about this question, I would have to answer this kind of in my prime, just maybe 10, 15 years ago, because it's a lot that's happened since then. I would say that changed the game was Marquise and Mike Pouncey. I think they changed the game to where not like all these combinations is great, but I like them too because they manned their position. They took a strong hold on it and they made it a position to where you have to play this center position from here on out throughout the career. And as we see and we talk about positions in football, we talking about snappers, long snappers, and things like that. The center is the centerpiece of a lot that goes on. So I would say the Pouncey brothers in respect of what they brought to the game and their Super Bowls that go along with it.
Yeah, I know when the Steelers lost the one Pouncey that they had, they was salty.
Yeah.
When he wasn't playing for them no more, they was like, man, that was a key piece. And it's not a glamorous position. You know, they don't get no real pub.
Right.
You know, like a quarterback or a wide receiver or running back or even a left tackle.
Yeah.
You know, and to be able to play those positions, man, like they did, they was tough, man. They was tough.
Agree, definitely.
Yeah. All right, well, that was the last question I had, man. I got the stream all set up for tomorrow, so hopefully y'all can do your thing on that. I might be able to get on. I don't know what it's gonna look like.
You already know we got
anyway,
you.
it's already set. Yeah.
Yep, I've been taking my notes for everything as far as in that for tomorrow and everything too. I just been getting a lot of stuff done, being back walking these last couple of days. So
yeah. So I got a bunch of questions already in that chat. So y'all can go through those questions, and then if your brother Gerald can make it on, he said right now he believes he's going to be able to get on. So if he gets on, then I guess you can moderate between him and T1 if he gets on too about that Ohio State and Oregon game, because that's when Gerald wanted to come on when that game came around.
Got you.
So I might even be able to get in the chat a little bit too and sort of, mess around in the chat.
Cool. We'll definitely keep it going and all that good stuff. I'll probably jump in a few minutes early to double check and make sure everything is good on my end as well.
Cool. All right, well, nothing else need to be said. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Share our videos. Level Up Sports 10, also WTP Sports Dudes, also City League TV. Please support us and continue to check out our videos, hit the like button, and subscribe. If there's nothing else, peace.
Peace.